See, this is the show, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it is. Welcome to the program. We've got a lot of dialogue happening. They're champing at the bit to get this show started. And we are recording this thing live at the lovely Orchard View Wedding and Event Center just outside of Manotick. It is a fabulous spot, and we're very pleased to be joined today by Gino Milito, the man who runs this place, the man who owns this place. My name is Steve Warren. This is Tony Greco. This is Gino Milito, and this is Joe Sabusco, and we welcome you to another episode of the show. Last week was our pilot episode, and this is number 2, and today we're going to talk a little bit about, and this is a great place to be doing it, because this particular place is absolutely renowned for the level of dining that they can provide. So we're going to talk about food today. We've got the nutritionist, we've got the chef, and we've got the guy who loves to eat more than anybody I know.
And we got the guys that are talking, making noise in the back. So.
That's all good. We're live on location, so this is how it goes. So, Tony, let's start with you. First of all, how are you doing today?
Doing great. It's going to be an interesting episode.
They're all going to be interesting in my
excited because it's real.
Yeah, and we've got a nice crowd here.
Ginger ale?
Yeah, it's a ginger ale. That's right. We're enjoying some ginger ale. You've got
apple juice,
Pepsi, whatever that is.
And he's got cranberry and pineapple juice.
That's something. That also sounds good.
Steve, can I make a correction on your opening statement there?
Okay, sure.
As much as I am part of this beautiful estate, my son is actually running the place with his lovely wife. So I've kind of taken a back seat. So they're more or less running the place. Shut up. Stop hitting the table.
So let's give
I'm Italian. I got to move my hands. So Adam Milito and Julia, they're the ones that are actually running the place. So give them credit because they've done a wonderful job. Points, right? I've taught them both well.
Nice.
Thank you.
I apologize right out of the gate, Adam and Julia. You're doing a great job here. So we'll be talking to Gino the has-been, I guess is what we're talking about.
That's true. I am a has-been. That's what my kids tell me. I am a has-been.
All right. So let's talk food today. And so we'll begin with probably you, Tony, because, let's begin with the healthy portion of it. And then we'll move on to, it gets funner as we get farther away here down the desk. But let's talk in terms of, obviously nutrition is a massive part of what you do with the great Greco fitness empire. You're working with hockey players. You're working with people that want to lose weight. You own a gym, though, at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. How much advisement do you do? How much schooling and education do you help provide your clients, even though you're all about mostly the physical part of it? How much discussion is there about the nutrition side?
Well, there's a lot of discussion about the nutritional side because you know what? People come in to see me and they're driven by results. And what happens is the big misconception is people don't eat because what they do is they're scared of food. And it's like, look, food is fuel. You got to understand that. People are listening to this podcast. It's like, I always refer, to the engine of a car. If you drive a car 24 hours, well, you're probably going to stop at 5 gas stations to fill up because your tank's going to be empty. But the problem is that everybody that eats thinks that, I can't eat because I'm going to gain weight. No, it's what you eat, what you put in your mouth. And it's not that difficult. That's why hopefully later on in the show, Gino can talk about some healthy prepping food and all the good stuff. But that's the big misconception. So if people kind of get the idea, but food is fuel. And
what are they afraid of? You mentioned a second ago they're afraid.
They're afraid. They're afraid about eating too much because they count calories, which I'm not a big guy that counts calories. They do a diet, and what happens in the diet is you remove the tea, and that's what happens because you can't sustain that. They're just afraid because they look at themselves in the mirror and they think that everything that goes into their mouth is going to make them fat. And that's not true, because if they put the proper choices and the proper balance of the 3 main nutrients that your body needs as fuel and to build muscle, then you're doing okay. But what happens is they think that they're going to come into a gym twice a week, like, I eat really well. I'm like, yeah, tell me what you ate. They're like, well, I only had a muffin for lunch. You can't have that. You can't have that stuff. Like, you got to understand that it's a whole process. You got to be consistent. And if you're consistent, then what happens is you see the results, and then that result is going to create progress. That progress is going to create interest, and you're going to start to become a habit of what it is that you have to do to stay healthy. But people always fall off the wagon and they put the wrong foods in their mouth that has a huge, I'm not even gonna go there, but chemical imbalance in their brain. You know, we talked about gut health a lot of times, and especially with a lot of the processed stuff, there's so many chemicals that I can't even pronounce in the back of those labels. And imagine what that's doing to your internal gut health. You know, we have candida, all these different, bacteria issues that affect the brain mentally. And then what happens is people lose themselves, just like that song from Eminem, right? They just have no control, and it's unfortunate. But hopefully people that listen to this podcast are going to make some changes, and we'll see some positive things come out of this.
Well, that was a really random Eminem reference. I like it. Just lose yourself. I like it.
Like that?
Yeah, I don't mind that.
You know the song?
No, which one?
You can
lose yourself in the moment.
Oh man, go on. I mean,
Eminem, come on, man.
If you had
I'm
one
49.
chance-
I'm 49 years old. You
one
think I would know
chance,
Eminem?
One opportunity, would you capture it? Okay, that's the song. Everybody knows it.
If you had one chance, one opportunity, would you capture it?
Yeah, only on Tuesdays.
On Tuesdays? No, Wednesdays for us.
Okay, so we've had the expert's view on the food thing. Before we get you to put your chef's hat on right now, Gino, maybe talk personally. Like, do you find, balancing out nutritional food with the unbelievable food and fuel you have here at Orchard View? And I know you do try to balance it for your customers, but you personally speaking, give us a sense of where you're at with the challenges of good nutrition.
Well, you know what? Nutrition, it's always a challenge. Eating the proper food, the proper diet, like Tony said. But then you want to stop living. You know, we talk about so many different diets. You know, like the European diet supposedly is the best diet in the world. I think it is, but it's only the best diet in the world because it's all natural. So in Europe, when my old country, when I think about where I come from, it was all natural. We ate off the earth. So we used to actually eat dandelions. You know, my mother used to go out, she used to pick dandelions, chicoria, exactly. And she used to boil it, cook it. And we boiled it, and then we mix it up with a little bit of olive oil, put a little bit of salt and pepper. It was phenomenal. That's natural, direct from the earth. So the diet is better because when you eat that way, but when you blend it with all the different ingredients, all the manufacturing, all the processed food, it's not the same anymore. So you can, in my opinion, and I respectfully agree and disagree with Tony, it is about what you eat to a certain extent, but it doesn't mean you got to stop living. You can eat. It's about the quantity of food that you eat and what you eat, what you put in your mouth, as Tony said. So yes, you can have a nice grilled chicken. You can have a nice grilled steak. You can have pork tenderloin. It's the next white veal. So, I mean, you can do a lot of good food out there. You can grill, you can boil, you can do anything you want to it. You can put it in the oven. Do you want to use a lot of oil? No, I would say stay away from vegetable and canola oil. Use, we were talking about coconut oil. Use a little bit of coconut oil. Use a little bit of olive oil. The olive oil, extra virgin, obviously. The one thing you want to do with it, you don't want to cook or boil olive oil. You want to just warm it up. Whatever you're cooking, just use it lightly and warm things up. Do not boil, do not fry with it. It's not good for you. You break down the oil, you break down the enzymes, and you're actually you're defeating the purpose of trying to eat something healthy.
Plus, they're probably $30 a bottle of extra virgin. The real oil. Talk about the real oil, because people cook with it. It's like you don't cook with a $30 bottle of olive oil. You drink it like this. I'm gonna have a drink here.
But here's a crazy thing. So you go to the stores and you see olive oil on sale for $4.99 for like a liter or 2 liters. You don't get extra virgin olive for $4.99. That is totally a colored blend of olive oil. It is not olive oil.
Is that a colored blend?
Well, what they do is they add coloring. They add a coloring to make it green.
Oh, okay.
Because you don't get a good liter of olive oil for $4.99 or $2.99. I'm sorry, but that's absolute BS. If you want really good olive oil, if you want a good liter of olive oil, you're not buying anything at $20. So unless you're buying olive oil and you really want the good stuff, you're buying under $20. It's not that good.
Let me ask you something. Are Italians more passionate about olive oil or wine?
Both. They're equal. We need
equal?
both.
It's equal?
Yes.
All right.
They actually don't mix us. They separate in the glass, but that's okay for us. We like it either way.
Very good.
It's great.
We got to bring Joe into the discussion here. I'm keen to know, where you're at with the food thing. I think in terms of, I'm going to guess that you're not as passionate as Tony about the nutritional side of things. Maybe share with us what your nutritional
So it's very
plan
simple.
is.
I eat to survive.
Okay.
As long as it tastes good, I eat it.
Well, give us a sample of your day. I'm keen to know.
What's that?
A sample of your day, like what you might eat
I
on
love
a
steak.
normal work day.
I love steak.
Okay.
Steak, I can eat steak every day.
All right.
I don't, but I love to eat steak every day. That's my favorite food. You know, I like the good salad. You know, I eat anything.
Okay.
Seafood. I don't eat fresh fish. That's the only thing I don't eat.
Right.
Salmons or trouts and none of that. I don't eat none of that stuff.
But you don't worry about any of these being unhealthy?
No.
Why?
So I eat to survive.
Okay. But
That's it.
all right. Tony, what's your reaction?
Doesn't
But hold on a sec. But yeah, he's right. He eats a lot, but part of it's because the timing, right? Like you're busy all the time, right?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that the biggest thing?
Yeah.
And then you get caught up. But I mean, he knows what's healthy, and that's very typical in, I'd say, a big percentage of humans.
Right.
Everybody knows, you know, what's healthy and what's not healthy. Come on, let's face it. You know what I mean? If I bring a plate here with, you know, grilled chicken and some nice greens, everybody's gonna say it looks healthy. If I bring like, you know, a hamburger with French fries and mayonnaise, everybody's gonna say it's not healthy, right? So everybody knows. So it's just making the sacrifice and putting a realistic timeline and accepting with yourself that that's what you need to do to survive, right? So he's about survival. Well, a lot of people out there right now, they're listening, are probably about weight loss. So in order to get, you know, to that ideal goal that you want to get, you have to make the sacrifice.
Okay, let me ask a question. I'll be like a game show
Yeah.
host here, and you guys are my three contestants. Here's the question. Healthy food is almost never delicious. True or false?
I'd have to say false. I know you're probably expecting true. False because
I was expecting false, actually.
Well, yeah, give me false, because you know what? Here's the thing. What people don't understand, the best thing I could say is if people haven't watched the movie Super Size, they should watch it, because there's a lot of truth to that. Because here's a guy that goes on a binge for 1 month, and it has a huge chemical imbalance in his brain. So you could take what you call healthy food and make it very tasty. He knows that. Look at a salad. You put nice balsamic vinegar, extra virgin olive oil, with tons of greens, great salad. Now you could take that same salad, load it with 2 pounds of thick, creamy sauce, and all you're going to taste is the sauce. Well, you're not tasting the food. What is it you want, sauce or food? If you want the sauce, just take a bowl and put sauce and start taking a spoon and eat sauce. You know, like it's just, people got to understand that it's like what is it that you want? You know, and how's your health, and what are the sacrifices you're going to make to get there? You talk a big game, but what are you doing to get there? Nothing, right? So it's like, I mean,
this is the chattiest game show guest I've ever had.
I just, because, you know, after years and years, it's listen, I'm far from perfect. I'm going to speak for myself. I eat like Dairy Queen, dip cone, you know that. I mean, I indulge, but you have to have a balance. Like, and if you're at that level where you need to do it, you got to work extra hard at it until you get there. I mean, I have clients in my establishment that go up and down, up and down. I said, look, get to your destination. It's not only for your weight loss, it's for your mind. You know you're there. You did it. It's like, I can do this. I got the power. I know I can get there. But if you never get there, you never know. If you climb a mountain to the top, in your mind, you're like, I know I can get to the top. If you went halfway and fell down all the time, what's going to be in your mind? I can never get up. I fall halfway down.
Right. All right, moving on to Gino now. The question on the table, once
up a mountain?
With you many times.
The question on the table, Gino, here from the Orchard View Wedding and Event Center, is that our healthy food is almost always not delicious. Do you believe that to be true or not?
No, absolutely not. That's not true at all. One of the things that whatever you cook, again, going back to whether it's a steak, you know, my friend here loves steak, but you can also love chicken. You can grate tenderloin. You can do whatever you want. You know, eggplants are a great grilled product. Okay, so does it taste good? Yes. Try grilling a little bit of eggplant, put a little bit of tomato sauce and just a little bit of Parmesan cheese. Bake it in the oven for 5 minutes. It's an amazing meal. It really is.
Hungry. You're making me hungry.
No, but it's true. I mean, one of the things that people do when they cook,
always,
and that's always when I go to a restaurant, or even when I cook, it doesn't matter where it's my wife or whoever does cook, they always emphasize the spice. You need to emphasize the product that you're eating. So if you're eating veal, you need to taste the veal. If you're eating beef, you want to taste the beef. If you're eating chicken, you need to taste the chicken. So what people do, and even when I go to some place and have pizza, the main thing that I taste on the sauce is oregano. For some reason, people think that your pizza or sauce should be emphasized with oregano. I'm sorry, that's a bunch of BS. You're using spices and herbs to emphasize your product that you're eating. So if you're eating a steak and you're putting, rosemary, You want to emphasize that the rosemary, the steak, the meat, with the spice or herb that you're using. You don't want to taste the rosemary. What you're doing is you're using herbs and spices strictly to bring out the flavor of the food that you're cooking. As I said, whether it's chicken, whether it's beef, or it doesn't matter what product you're cooking. It could be pork, it could be anything. But you want to emphasize. Same thing with sauces. You know, you go to some place and they cover their food with sauces. Well, if I'm having I don't know, whether it's a steak or a pork chop, like, you know, most people cover their pork with an apple sauce and they think that you've got to taste the apple in the sauce. No. I want to taste the pork chop. That's what I came here for. I want to eat the pork chop. I want to eat my chicken. I want to taste my 6 or 8 ounce piece of chicken. I don't want to taste the sauce. And a lot of people who don't know about cooking, they don't know that you need to emphasize the flavor of that product that you're cooking. So that's always. Sorry
to interrupt.
It's fine.
I was just going to ask: has over the years that you used to run this place, not anymore. Was that a priority on the menu?
Oh yeah, 100%. Okay. So one of the things I always did whenever they asked me for flavors or anything like that, so we usually have taste tests. So the bride and groom come for a taste test, and it's not that they're actually tasting the product that they're ordering, but they're tasting how we cook here.
Okay.
You know, is there enough salt? You know, do I taste the oregano? Do I taste whatever herbs or spices? You know, like I said, you know, rosemary or thyme or bay leaves, whatever it is that I'm flavoring. Okay, you want to emphasize whether it's a sauce, whether it's a product itself. Again, emphasize the flavor. So when they come for a taste test, I made sure, how was the taste? Did you taste the rosemary? Did you taste the thyme? No. Yeah, no, I didn't. They said no, but it was burnt. He's right. No, he's actually a good cook. But just some of these things that you need to use herbs and spices correctly. And same thing with sauces. Don't cover things with sauce where they're all drowned in it. Just emphasize the taste or flavor of the product that you're actually cooking or serving.
Okay, so, and I'll ask Joe a question now.
My cooking is burnt. That's all you taste.
Really?
I don't like to cook. I like to eat, don't like to cook.
All right, fair enough. And what's your answer to the question that's on the table? Can the healthy foods also be delicious? No, none of them.
None.
So you would never say, "Get me the green menu, please."
I've been
You've tried vegan?
Yeah, it's garbage. I mean, I've been around. I mean, Tony's brought me to some fantastic restaurants that he claims they were fantastic. You know, everything was portioned.
Yeah,
it's garbage.
Really, no exceptions.
No,
really.
I like a good wholesome meal. You know, like my mom used to cook, like your mom used to cook. You know, you come home. Our parents never counted calories.
Right.
Our parents cooked and you ate and you went to bed. That was it.
So they also worked hard too.
Well, exactly.
Which people don't do now, and that's the problem.
That's the thing. People are sitting down all day behind a desk, looking at a laptop or a computer, and they think, going to the gym, they're going to lose weight. Yeah. If you think that's the problem, then that's the problem.
So what's your death row meal? Like, I'm the warden. I'm coming to you. You're being executed in the morning.
Be there for a last serving me.
No, you only get one meal. For the purposes of this exercise, you only get one meal. What is your request from me, the warden?
Be a good steak.
Good steak, and what else?
Potato, salad, bread, white bread, not brown bread. None of that. None of that cheap stuff.
Okay.
The white stuff, the white bread.
Nice. Okay. Nice crusty Italian bread. Is that looking?
You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. That's fair.
Food is food.
You're a steak and potatoes guy.
Food is food. Right? Food is food.
Well, I don't think Tony would agree with that.
It's not. Food is fuel.
Yeah, but
That's
food
better.
is food, right?
Yeah.
Like there's good food and then there's bad food.
Well, Gino's got a lot of nice flower bushes around here that are edible.
Yeah.
I still don't think I wouldn't.
I wouldn't have that salad.
No, I would not.
But a lot of Tony's friends would go crazy for that. They put pine nuts. Or what do they put on them?
Yeah,
Nuts.
pine nuts, pistachio nuts,
olive oil.
Like nuts is next to a scotch.
Yeah.
Right? Nuts for me is next to a scotch. It's not on my plate being cooked.
Right.
Yeah, but it's a different mindset. That's why they're in. That's why vegan restaurants. It's mostly for vegan, but a lot of people that are non-vegan go there because they feel healthy. Just them being in there, in their mind they're like, I'm healthy. Yeah, it's a state of mind. Exactly, state of mind. They're like, oh, I ate a healthy salad today. And meanwhile, there's a lot of oil, and again, not take a stab at vegans, but there's a lot of oils and a lot of calories in those foods too, right? So yeah, they might taste well, and in their mind, they're not eating any animal product, but at the same time, I mean,
they have no sustenance. Like they have no strength.
Well,
Guy who eats salad all day has no strength.
well, they supplement. They
With what?
also with vitamins and
Okay, but why? It's there.
Well, because
You need
most of
carbs,
believe
you buy a
not to
pasta,
eat-
right?
Yeah,
You
but
need carbs, you buy a
most-
pasta.
But most people believe the vegan that you're not going to eat an animal. You're not, an animal's not there to be killed, and that's so. Again, it's what they believe in, right?
No, that's fine. I'm not talking about their beliefs. I'm just saying, like, a pasta is carb.
Yeah.
Right? Why would you substitute it with anything else?
Listen, you know what? Portion control is a big thing, right? So look at these athletes. They have pasta before their games all the time because they're going out to burn that fuel. But if you don't have a day where you're burning that fuel, then cut down on the pasta. Have a better fuel that burns more. Like a sweet potato would be more effective, for instance. You know what I mean? Than something starchy, because your body has to break that down. That's the problem, right? So like even a steak. I mean, I know you love steak, but I mean it's hard on the body to break down a steak. Think about it. You can't even tear the whole thing.
Yeah, but
with
if you're
your teeth.
working 14, 15 hours a day, you're active.
I know,
That steak
but-
is gone within 3
well,
hours.
I don't know about
I don't
that.
think anybody works more than 4 or 5 hours a day today. So I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, you're probably
You can see it over here in Paradise Island.
you're probably an exception, but you know,
Plane over here. That's it.
nothing against nothing against the vegetarians, but at the end of the day, again, you can actually flavor vegetable food. You can do it. I was talking earlier about an eggplant. You can do an eggplant parmesan. That's a beautiful vegetarian dish. And actually, I think that you would like it too.
You keep talking about this. Maybe we can try that.
Yeah.
This. I'm getting.
Well, I can't do it today.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can have great vegetarian dishes, like fulfilling great vegetarian dishes. Like it doesn't have to be all about beans. I know that you're like legumes and you're into beans and stuff
Well,
like that.
no. I'm just saying. I'm just stating, just talking to people over and over. I mean, you want to be open minded and ask them why they're eating like that. You know, like most people follow a diet to lose weight. Now, am I going to agree with that? You know,
Shorten your arms when you want to lose weight.
Well, you know, or they're like, Dad, can you get abs? I go, abs are made in the kitchen. You know what I mean? Like people don't, I think a lot of them know it, but they get misled on what food really truly does for you. But there's a lot of now data and science behind some of the foods. And I got to admit, you know, we talked about our parents earlier, but you know what people are doing right now? They're going back to their gardens. They're going back in time like our parents did in a home country. You know, they grow their own vegetables, they make their own food, and they eat from the land. And that's forgotten because
You know what?
That's what's happening right now. Actually, that's what you should do. Here.
Tony, I respectfully disagree because you know what? With all the cooking shows that are going on and all the teachings that are going on in the televisions, nobody's cooking. Everybody's ordering out.
Well, that's
they're
laziness.
Uber Eats. It doesn't matter, but that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Especially the new generation. They're not cooking. They're ordering out.
Yeah.
Skip the dishes.
because
you know,
that's-
Uber Eats. All of this is what's going on.
Well, that's because it's easy. Everybody likes to take the easy
But
way
that's
out.
exactly.
Okay, so then look, when you look at yourself in the mirror and you don't like what you see, right? That's okay. You can eat like that.
Okay, but explain me something, Tony. Our grandparents, 84, 90, you know, they didn't have a great life, but, you know, they worked, they ate, they fed the family. You know, they reached 84, 90 without reading, without writing, no science, no doctors behind them.
Yeah.
Now you got all these lab coats, right, behind you. People are dying at 50 with cancer, with anything. And they're trying to do exercise, they're trying to eat healthy, you know, like they're balancing their life. Everybody has a balance. Everybody wants to be balanced. Don't you think it's a little too much to the extreme?
Well, first of all, the life expectancy has increased, by the way.
Really?
Yes, it has increased. And those people that are dying probably would have had genetically issues prior to that. Like, that's why, like, when people want to lose weight, they say, how much percentage? Well, I think it's actually, 80% nutrition, 10% genetics, and then 10% exercise. The reason why I say that, because a big guy that's big bone loses weight, he's still going to be big bone, whatever, thinner guy, right? You can't change genetics. I'm not going to be 6'1", so that has a key role to it. So once you accept that, that's a big thing. And then their stress levels back then was all just work, go home, sleep, work, go home, sleep.
Yeah, but they lived forever.
They did because the stress wasn't as high.
They had no stress.
Well, they had, but very little compared to what people have now because, this stuff here stresses people out because all these young people go on and they think life is like that.
Yeah.
Even us adults, believe it or not, we get caught up in the mix. Yeah. And then it's like, well, what do you mean? I don't have that. I can't have that. And that's the problem. You start to lose yourself. I'm going to bring the Eminem song again. So it's like, that's the problem, right? I mean, I'm surprised Gino's attention span's been this long so far in this podcast.
I'm the adult here, eh? Don't forget. I'm most experienced at 49.
Did you know you were coming on an episode of The Odd Couple, Gino?
No idea.
But yeah, that's their stress levels was less, and they were just providers, and that's all they did. They worked, went home, ate good food.
But could it be their stress level was not as high as people today because there was less information?
Yes.
Today you look, I don't know, you get your nail hurts and you look it up because everybody self-diagnoses, right?
Yeah.
And they go nuts and they backfill these emergencies. That's why these hospitals, they're backed up. You're waiting 2-3 days to see a doctor because everybody's got a problem.
Yeah.
Well, don't you think?
This is not an emergency. You're right.
Too much information. Like people are too educated.
Yes, that does play a key role. And and back in the day, I believe that the temple that we've been given from, our God is incredible, right? I mean, people abuse it, but you're right because it's a natural healer. Think of what the body goes through on a regular basis, and you still, are alive. Like some of the stuff that people put in their body, if you calculate on a yearly basis, like the average person, this was going back a few years ago when we had the radio show, was like 600 pounds of sugar that you're taking in. So imagine every morning you come to my studio and I say, here's 10 pounds of sugar, dump it down your throat. Next morning again, till you get to 600 pounds. Remember, 600 pounds a year, the average person is taking in the sugar. That was years ago. I bet you it's actually more now. And your body's still, functioning and working. So you think of the abuse it's taken. So going back to your answer, I think if you treat the body well, I think it'll treat you well.
It sounds like everybody's got kind of the same theme going on, that if we all behaved like our 95-year-old grandfathers, we'd probably be better off.
Yeah. Well, but you can't. It's the stress again.
10 years ago, you went to a restaurant. There was no calories next to the price list. Now you're going to a restaurant. You open up a menu. They tell you how much calories there is in this dish. And who cares? You want to eat, just eat.
And the pressure of, I think, keeping up to everybody. Like I think what happens is people don't really know who they really are and what they truly want. They just don't know because they want more because they think they're going to be happy. So more means happy. And now there's like less is more, because you start to realize that it's like the reality is this, and everybody wants to be successful financially, but you have to put a reality check to it. If you're trying to make X amount of millions of dollars and you have less years ahead of you, chances are you might have to reduce that number if that's what it is that makes you happy. So just accept where you are and just carry on. But that's what the initial thing I think is of everybody. Everybody just wants, where back in the day, our parents just worked and provided and we're happy. And they've lost that happiness. People right now, I in my world, have lost that happiness. Yeah. People do come to work out, but most people come to work out because the depression is a big thing. The big thing. Yeah, big thing. And that's why mental health.
Look at Gino.
Yeah.
What about me? I'm not depressed. I'm the happiest guy in the world.
You don't look fucking happy.
No, I'm a listener.
It's true though. Like that plays a key role in it. The whole scenario of wanting more, because at the end of the day, like, why do people do the things they do? Like, why? Ask yourself that question. They don't know why. Like, I got to go to work and pay bills. Okay. What was it? Why is it that you want to do this? Well, I don't know. This is a thing to do. Like, they have no sense of direction. They're lost in thought. And I'm saying the more you could plan on what really, truly, truly, truly makes you happy, you could create it, because that's what the universe is for. Everybody's
yeah, but you know what? I give you a reality check. I don't think you understand.
I do understand.
Everybody can afford certain things.
It's not about affording things.
I remember back when you and I were going door knocking for a certain person.
Yeah.
And, we went to a poor area of Ottawa.
Yeah.
And, we looked at it like literally the walkway was a disaster.
Yeah.
The roof was falling apart. Yeah. The door was falling apart. And Tony's getting upset because why are these guys not repairing this?
I'm I get
No,
upset.
you were very upset.
Why would I be upset?
Because you're upset, and I had to give you a reality check and say, these people can't put food on their table. That's why they can't fix their door or their roof. Because they need to feed a family. They have to provide clothing. So I said, not everybody's well off. Not everybody can afford certain things. So they have to minimize whatever they are doing in life to get through their day, to get through their month or their year. Because it's true, what they say, especially today, it's got even harder. Not everybody can afford maybe what we can afford. Okay, so there's a lot of, I would say, a good 50% are probably on the poor side in Canada. They're not rich. They're running day to day. You know, they're working paycheck to paycheck. The other 25% are doing great. You know, they're paying all their bills. They're happy. They're taking a few vacations. And the other 25% that are above that. But you got to remember, there's 50 to 75% that are suffering.
Okay, but you got to remember one thing. They might be happy. I base my thoughts on my experience. I'm not saying that what they're doing is wrong. I base my thoughts on my experience.
So does Elon Musk.
Okay, so
well, if he's a multi-billionaire, you can't look at it that way.
I created that. My experiences, I share them with my thoughts because I've lived them. It's just like my athletes. You know, how could you teach someone how to win if you didn't win? How can you teach someone how to win if you haven't won, right? So that energy that flows through that experience that was absorbed through my emotions is created to these guys that have to excel. You know, how could you sell life insurance if you're 400 pounds overweight and you come and see me? Like your thoughts and your experience create that emotion to share that energy with people. That's why it's called passion, because you know it, you've seen it, right? It's like you're sharing that high of what you've accomplished to share that progress with other people. So those people, we don't know their story. We'd have to analyze every single one of those people's story. Maybe they were, not born in a wealthy family. I wasn't born in a wealthy family. You weren't so there you go. I think we did pretty good. We created that. Yeah. I don't get.
But we work hard. We did it. I get it.
Okay, so somebody else can work. So it's about outworking the other person.
But they don't want to do that.
Well, then that's the choice.
It's a handout. Everybody wants a handout today.
They got to accept the consequences. There's nothing wrong with that. If that's what they want, there's nothing wrong.
Yeah, they're not motivated.
Exactly.
They go into a depression because they can't have what their neighbor has.
Well,
rather than working for it, getting out there, getting a job, putting in your rate 10 hours. Because let's face it, when I worked 12 to 14, 15 hours. Before I got
15 hours. You just finishing.
No. When you're getting started today, nobody works 15 hours. Today, nobody works 15 hours. I don't care what anybody says.
I do.
It's maybe 1% of the population. Okay. Because not anymore. They don't do that. They get weekends off. They're going home.
No more.
I work every day. I don't know what you're talking about.
I fucking work 3 hours a day.
Listen,
he's not going to share the mic with you anymore. If they
I don't want the mic. I don't need the mic. I don't need it.
No, but in all seriousness, people don't want to work. They don't want to work. They think they want it out. They want a gift. They think the government should supply everything.
Deflect putting a nice plate of pasta over here to people not working. We're here to eat pasta. Aren't you supposed to put something on the table for us?
That's not the point. I'm trying to make a point here. And the point is that not everybody is as well gifted as we are, whether it's working habits, or whether it's the way we eat, or the way we exercise, or the way we deal with ourselves. A friend of mine told me today, and it actually stuck in my mind. He said to me, try to be a friend to yourself. And he's right. Be your own friend. And I'm thinking about that all day, as crazy as it is. We should be our own friends. We treat ourselves the way we want to be treated. We treat ourselves the way we want other friends to treat us.
Why don't do that? You know why we don't do that? You want me to tell you why?
Sure.
Because we let our ego get in the way. That's why everybody has an ego, but sometimes you got to get back to you. Sometimes when you jump at someone, it's not really you. It's not really Gino. It's that ego coming out of you. But if you come back and be you, like you said, be your best friend to you, then you're a good soul. And that's what happens a lot of the time. But I mean, a lot of that stuff takes a lot of time. That's all part of lifestyle. You got to live and breathe it. And that all leads to what we've been talking about, creating good habits, providing better discipline for yourself. So if you start the process of every day practicing your daily discipline habits, what are those habits? Like right now, if I asked you, what are the main good habits that you need to practice every day? Give me just 3, and you practice them every day. What are they? Give me 1.
Go sleep on time. Wake up on time. Sleep. Don't go stay up all night.
Okay, what else?
In the morning, get up. Have a healthy meal.
Okay.
Healthy meal do you have in
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have time for that. You're up. You're gone.
No, but
This is no argument.
no, a healthy meal could be
What?
maybe an orange juice or
What is it?
No.
no. Forget about a cup of coffee, cigarettes. You can have a boiled egg if you really want to get. You don't even have. I don't have breakfast. First of all, very rarely. I go with my friends. If I eat, like today, we had breakfast at 11:30. If you want to call it breakfast, it's breakfast and lunch. So you don't have to eat a big breakfast like everybody says because it's the best meal of the day. It's bullshit. It's not the best meal of the day at all. It's what you make it the best meal. It could be breakfast. It could be lunch. It could be dinner.
You break
but
in a fast.
But again, don't have a 15-ounce steak. Don't have 10 pieces of chicken. Don't have a bunch of potatoes. Don't control your bread, your pizza intake. So all those things that I think you should be controlling, which is carbs, because obviously we don't control carbs. We love pizza. We love bread. We love all these things that make us happy. That's what makes us happy. It's the bread, the pizza, the pasta.
You know what I think it is, Gino? People don't have time no more. Back in the days, people had time. They sat down in the morning, they had their cereals. Lunchtime was actually lunchtime. Was an hour off, people had their lunch. Supper was actually supper. Right now, people skip breakfast, lunch, and then they go all out. Supper. How many times we went days without eating? Like mornings we went,
We did.
so many times. Guys, what are you going to do tonight? Well, I was starving. I didn't eat all day. How many times?
Many times.
Exactly. It's time. Time. That's the thing he was talking about. People don't make the time
Exactly.
anymore. And in reality, we don't have the time because we're always rushed.
Yeah. You're more concerned of going to drop something than making your health better and skipping a workout, which you technically have time. Why is that?
It's like you have time to train your guys because you got to be there to show up and train.
Yeah, but
so we have responsibilities. If we don't commit to our responsibilities, there's consequences.
How could you provide your responsibility if you don't have your health? That should be your number one priority. You think I want to stay in a gym all day long after training 6-7 clients? No, that's why I leave for Serenity, but I still get the workout in because you need to do it because of your health. That's my point. How could you create responsibility if you don't have your health?
Listen, health is number one.
Well, then make it a priority.
No, nobody's saying it. Like everybody, especially people our age.
Make it a priority. Why don't you make it a priority?
Nobody makes it a priority.
Because there's other responsibilities, commitments that you have in life.
You just said you.
No, but you do have other commitments and responsibilities, Tony. You do.
But if you don't have your health to provide those responsibilities, if you can't get up the next day and go to work because you're sore and you're unhealthy because you haven't worked out, how are you going to fulfill that commitment? You know what I always say to people? Health is true wealth is good health. That's all you have to know.
And you know what? Everybody agrees with you.
Okay.
Because without your health, you literally can't do nothing.
That's my point.
People actually, if you look at it realistically, they work their asses off for all their lifetime. After they turn 60 or 65, whatever money they made, they actually spend it on getting well, on being healthy. Whether all the supplements they're buying, whether it's seeing doctors or whether it's seeing psychiatrists, psychologists, there's something wrong with me. So you've worked for nothing. You've worked literally to get better when you're 65 and up. How does that make any sense? You make a lot of sense. You're saying stay healthy all your life.
Yeah, they're lost.
Health is wealth. There's no question about it. And we always say that number one in my country, salute. That means health. So in our mindset, even growing up with my family and everywhere you talk to people, they always say, money's not everything. Health is everything. Job is not everything. Health is everything.
Who says that?
Everybody says
The guy who has money. The guy who has money says health is everything.
Well,
the guy who has the health, he's struggling to make money.
I know, but I think you gotta live. You can't just work. You gotta live for your health.
When you were 30, were you thinking of your health?
I had 3 jobs.
You had to make money.
Yeah, I had to pay my bills. Yes.
So what you're saying, it's good at 65.
I don't think people should work till they're 65, make money and then spend it, everything they've made to get well. Whether you got to get good shoes, whether you got to see a special doctor, whether you got a special surgery, because that's what's happening.
Right. And to Tony's point, that you can avoid that potentially with some level of commitment, right, on the fitness front.
Agreed.
Anyway, we'll wrap it up with this. Some people will measure their time with an hourglass running out. Gino's whiskey glass is running out, as is mine. So that tells us the podcast is almost over. Maybe a final thought from each of you on what message you'd have for the listener today.
Well, my message is this. I think Gino, I've done this drill with Gino. Seeing is believing, okay? Listening to us guys here is just a message we're delivering. But if you take a piece of tape, measuring tape, put it on the ground, and step on your age, right? Oh, yeah, you know where I'm going with
that's
this?
good.
That's a good one. You step on your age.
Actually, do it with the pencil right there.
Yeah,
Right,
and you if this is your, like, here, I'll do yours, Steve. How's that? Okay. So this is 0. Say this is 100. Okay. So here's the 50 mark. Okay. So
You've drawn a line between 0 and 100. There's 50 in the middle.
Yeah. What age are you right now?
Right there, just past 50.
Okay. Look where you are. You're on this. Look at this timeline you have. Assuming you can live healthy years. I mean, I hope you live past 100.
Thanks.
But let's say then I'm going to give you 80. Okay, healthy years. You could go more, but I'm saying where you're not seeing a doctor every week, or so. Look at how short that timeline is. Yep. Look at all this time here. So remember, you can't buy time. Steve Jobs couldn't buy time. Don't buy time. Get healthy. That's my.
Did you ever hear his speech about that?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I encourage anybody to go on YouTube.
Absolutely.
Steve Jobs' speech about life and how short it is, and how he made his decisions. You know, thinking about, you know, every big decision I made in my life was based on, you know, if I was gonna die tomorrow, would I be charmed by what I'm doing right now? Right. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Gino, what about you? What would be your final thought today?
I think everybody should exercise, eat healthy, stay well, because that's what's going to prolong your life. And you want to live as long as you can, especially if you have grandchildren. And, you know, after working, 50, 60 years, you want to spend whatever time you have left as healthy and happy as possible. So definitely eat well and stay healthy and happy.
Joe?
For me, it's just enjoy, period. Just enjoy. It don't matter how much you have in your pocket, how much you have on your table. Enjoy. Enjoy what you have. The moment, that's it.
Joe's like the spiritual guy. I like that. Live in the moment. Enjoy the moment.
It's very zen. Joe Sabusco on the far left here. Gino Milito is here. Of course, our host today at Orchard View, Tony Greco and the Greco Empire. My name is Steve Warren. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us today. Hope you took something from that. One thing I'm seeing about the episodes is that we're going to start out talking about something, and it's going to take, it's like, taking the dog for a walk, and you think you're going to the mall, but you end up down by the lake and running around over by the park. You never know where it's going to go. And I thought it was a really intriguing conversation today.
Well, wait, I have a few dishes, healthy food that I want to show. Can I do that? Can I bring them out? Because our chef actually cooked a few items that are healthy. Maybe our audience might want to look at some of the stuff that's healthy.
Sure.
So this is very simple. It's a grilled New York sirloin with these are all grilled vegetables. They're either boiled or grilled. This is a grilled stuffed chicken with prosciutto and feta cheese. Again, it's all nicely baked in the oven with, again, a very light sauce. Nothing heavy, no starch. The sauce is actually thickened with a potato. Okay, and this is obviously mashed potato. Again, vegetables are grilled. Here we have a salmon. It's a basil salmon, very simply grilled, as you can see. No sauce, no nothing. The rice, it's a rice pilaf, very simple. A little bit of olive oil, some diced vegetables, and some nice green beans. And this is a salad. We're talking earlier about the salad, eating healthy. This is a sherry vinaigrette I just made. It's very simple. Nothing but a little bit of sherry, a little bit extra virgin olive oil, and some salt and pepper. All you have to do is just pour it on, and that's all you need. And this is, everything you eat here is healthy. And you can eat as much as you want, and you're going to be great.
Steve, whatever you do, don't touch my steak.
There's another one. Another one.
You can have the salad. You can have the salad.
They look great.
It's very good for you, the salad.
Everything looks amazing. Everything looks amazing, Gino. Well done. Gino here with some great items from the Orchard View Wedding and Event Center. Thank you for the tour of the place, a look at some of the great food, and for hosting us today. Thanks so much, Gino. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Absolutely.
Awesome, Gino.
Thank you, Gino.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us today here on the second edition of the Building Bodies and Strengthening Minds show. We appreciate it, and we shall talk to you in our next episode.